हेलो एवरीवन, मैं हूं आज के स्कूल के चैनल से। और आज हम सीखेंगे कि हम इंफॉर्मेटिव या फिर एक्सप्लेनेटरी टेक्स्ट को कैसे लिख सकते हैं, क्या होता है, क्या टाइप्स होते हैं, क्या यूज होते हैं। और धीरे धीरे हम ये समझेंगे कि ये सब टेक्स्ट को कैसे लिख सकते हैं। So in this video, you're basically going to learn a lot of things about these type of texts. So let's learn and find out. So the learning objectives. Firstly, you'll be able to understand the definition, the purpose, and the types of informative or explanatory texts. Next, you will be able to give an overview of style, formality, structural plot, qualities of these explanatory texts. You'll be able to list some structural features of the key text types and write reports based on it with a clear understanding. You'll be able to select a range of accurate and credibly primary and secondary resources for your first and the foremost step, which is research, because without research, there is no content done properly. And impromptu is a different thing. Next, let's learn the contents. So what you're going to learn is, firstly, you're going to know the definition, what is informatory and what is explanatory. These are both the same things, but just have different names. The second thing is the types of texts, the important qualities, the structural features, the tone, formality, style, and the primary and secondary sources. So let's begin with the definition. So what is this informatory or explanatory writing? Informatory writing is basically your text that gives you more and focuses more on accurate information. It is never fiction. It is mainly about the biographies, autobiographies, the real facts, the reports about what has happened a few years ago, a few days ago. So this is basically informatory or explanatory text. But though informatory texts hold some similarities to an argumentative writing, the style and tone is really different, because an argument seeks to persuade, and the explanation is to create an understanding between the people. It does not aim to change the reader's thinking or move the readers to take action, but simply to educate them on a topic. So this is what is informatory or explanatory writing. So let's learn the types. So this has a very informatory or explanatory genre which covers a range of text types such as autobiography and biography, literary analysis, explanatory essays, summaries, scientific reports, historical accounts, and scholarly articles. Because in schools we write a lot of essays, we get homeworks to do these articles, and these are also types of informative text. The important qualities. So there are important qualities that should be there in your informative text so that the reader is intrigued to read about it. The first important quality that your article must have or your informative text must have is accuracy, specificity, and clarity. So as you're sharing the knowledge, this must be one thing that you should know, is that your accuracy matters a lot. Because as you're sharing, you need to ensure that the information is correct, because it needs to be a fact. If it's fake, it's not going to look like an informative text. It will just be fiction. You need to research properly. You need to find out if it's true or not. If it's not true, you cannot put it in your informative text. You need to appear well informed and knowledgeable about the thing that you're writing about. For example, if you're writing about the global pandemic or the COVID-19 that had happened, if you're writing an article about it, you need to provide facts that has actually happened. Next is specificity. Vague, broad, or general statements suggest that you haven't put the time in to write or to research properly. You need to be specific about your writing. It's fine to start with general questions such as who, what, and where, but you need to delve into the why and how and follow particular and interesting facts that makes the reader want to read more. Next is clarity. Yes, clarity, you need to know exactly who is reading. You need to know your target audience so that the person who is reading would like to have more information about that specific topic as well. The clearer you are, the more likely it is that you will achieve your purpose of passing on the knowledge to your reader. So these are the important qualities that we all should follow while writing an informative or an explanatory text. Now let's learn about the structural features. There are two main informational text types you might be required to create. First is the explanatory essay, and the second is the informative report. So, in an explanatory essay, you need to begin with an introduction, a very amazing introduction that introduces and grabs the reader's attention. All right, and it should hook the audience like a magnet. You need to give specific, relevant information supported through evidences such as facts, reports, statistics. You need to give quotations, examples from experts so that it will be authentic. Clear organization of ideas and information in the format relevant to the topic. Example, cause, effect, advantages, disadvantages, pros, cons, sequence, timeline, compare, contrast. So all these things should be there in an explanatory text. You should end with a conclusion that summarizes the main point, and again, it should be intriguing because that leaves the audience in awe after reading the entire article. All right? It's a very simple thing, and yes, you can have a lot of things to learn about in that as well. Now let's learn about the informative report. Also remember, it's not a text, not an essay, it's a report. So you need to depending on the length, it can begin with the title page, table of contents, index, or a preface. You need your information to be organized logically, but it should still contain an inclusion and a body. Introduction and conclusion together is inclusion. So you can use inclusion and body, and that will help you later on because this is there in the informative report. This is the structure, but it can be organized into sections with headings and or subheadings, because you could just put the heading over there, write the subheading, and then you can write the content below that. You can put supporting visual elements like photographs, illustrations, maps, graphs, tables, diagrams with captions. Bolded or italicized fonts are also okay. You can change the font, you can put text boxes, bullet points, and sometimes you can use these numbered lists, which are also very good. You can also put the glossary at the end because, if someone wants to check the vocabulary as well, it can help them a lot too. So this is the thing about the informative report. So informative report is very, very easy, right? I mean, You can write it with your creativeness. You can use your style, tone, formality the way you want. But one thing you must know is that how your tips, like if you are using these texts, it should be written formally. So we need to move to style, tone, and formality. So this should use precise language and a neutral tone. It should not be too friendly, but it should not be too it should not be too informal, so that the person who is reading should get a tone that it is a explanatory text. So first tip is that no slang phrases should be used because they make them sound too casual. You should not use a you should steer clear of low modality languages like kind of, sort of, maybe, because they make you sound uncertain. And like I said, in the informative text, you cannot use the text like that. You cannot make it unsure, uncertain, because it is clear that it is true. It is authentic. You should avoid contractions. So what is contractions? Contractions are those words when you join two words and you make it one word, like is not turns to isn't, going to turns to gonna, want to turns to wanna. So these sound too formal as well, so you should avoid contractions. And you should not use first person point of view, because this is too personal. Instead, aim for third person point of view, because this is more objective. So these are the tips that you should know and use to improve your style, tone, and formality. Now let's talk about research. While researching for your informative text, you should use a combination of both primary and secondary resources. So primary sources are raw information, but secondary resources are the second-hand information from other researchers or the other websites that you want to take information from. But you should not use too much of secondary resources, because that makes that you have not written it, but someone else has. So you should use raw information, first-hand evidence about the people, events, or phenomena that you're researching, and then the secondary resources, because sometimes secondary resources aren't true at all. So you could take the primary resources from texts like letters, photographs, interviews, diaries, official documents, speech transcripts, novels, poems, films, newspapers, magazine articles, because these give you raw information that helps you research better. Now, secondary resources. So you could take text from articles, journals, reviews, books, medias, articles, documentaries, textbooks, or other essays. So this is the primary and secondary resources where you can take the content from, you can add up your own words, and then you can create an amazing text report, etc., etc., etc. So one more thing that you should know is that you should use primary resources as possible, as they are more credible when used as evidences. But as mentioned previously, it's fine to combine them with secondary resources, as these draw on existing research, allowing you to access on the other author's interpretation. The two types complement each other to help you convey a well-rounded and convincing text. Make sure you look for those sources that seem accurate, reliable, and credible. When analyzing a source, ask yourself questions like, who wrote it? Why? When? Under what circumstance? For whom? The more sources you can use, the more varied they are, the more likely you are to make a sound judgment and deliver accurate information to the person. So let's recap and let me give you a final advice. There are many forms of informative or explanatory writing that you may be required to do throughout your schooling or throughout life. So it's important to understand the style, structure, and overall purpose of this text type. All informative texts seek to accurately convey information to a reader with a primary purpose, and that is to increase the knowledge. You should assume that your audience consists of educated, intelligent, non specialists. So try to ensure that your writing is accurate, specific, clear, and to the point to have the best chance of successfully passing on the knowledge of your topic. Good luck and let's get writing. Thank you guys and have a great day. I hope you like the video and keep writing. Good luck with that. Bye. Have a good day.